Hey, so we are in part two, and I have got this prayer for you. And this is again Bookman's prayer at Bois Haman. And the importance of this is because it shows that the difference in how you believe you're interconnected has a difference in what you believe is possible. Now, we're talking about enslavement on the island of Haiti is some of the harshest experience of slavery possible because of the sugarcane. The sugarcane plantations, because it's such the crop is dangerous because it must be harvested within a very specific period. And so they were working these enslaved African peoples around the clock, many of them dying, wounds dying because this crop it's needing to be harvested for a global sugar trade is resulting in some of the largest mortality rates for chattel slavery that we know of. So these people found an internal grounding large enough to look at that problem in the face and find the wherewithal to assert a dignity and to poise to say, we will fight and this will not continue. Here is the prayer. The God who created the earth, who created the sun that gives us light, the God who holds up the ocean, who makes the thunder roar, our God who has ears to hear, you who are hidden in the clouds, who watch us from where you are, you see all that the white has made us suffer. The white man's God asks him to commit crimes, but the God within us wants to do good. Our God, who is so good, so just, he orders us to revenge our wrongs. It's he who will direct our arms and bring us the victory. It's he who will assist us. We all should throw away the image of the white man's God, who is so pitiless. Listen to the voice for liberty that speaks in all our hearts. This to me is fascinating for many reasons. Regardless of the gender pronoun in which they view this conception of God, what sticks out to me is this. In the naming of God, they name God according to its connectivity to earth, sun, ocean, thunder. That the God who's created the clouds has seen them and decides and says that it is in you and has given them the right and the wherewithal to resist anything that should come against them. This is in stark contrast to many people's conception of a God today who says that their only framework for interfacing with anything that is painful is to beg this God to come from externally to fix it instead of saying, I am the God who must show up. I have given the authority. I have been given the authority because of the God who created all of these things. If the God who created the earth has created me, this makes me kin to the earth. This makes me kin to the sun. This makes me kin to the ocean. This makes me kin to the thunder and kin to the clouds. I am not beneath them, I am with them in kinship. Harriet Tubman has a similar conception. She says, the God who made the North Star is the one who wanted me free. He put the North Star in the heavens, meaning that he put it there because he means for me to be free. This is a completely, radically different understanding of a connectivity and a positionality within the cosmos at large. And what it means for having a poise and a different posture to enact yourself as your own liberator within your own problems. To say, I am not beneath the problem. The God who made these things has also made me. I am kin to these things. Ergo, ergo, our actions will be directed. Not that I'm needing someone to come and save me, but that my actions will be directed. And that direction can come even from my kin. that the land can tell me where to go. This is important because we're talking about a peoples who are also using the land, who are using a connection to the land as a point of departure for liberatory acts. The fact that enslaved African people can move to the mountains, into places where enslavers and colonizers cannot move because their relationship to land is one of domination and not kinship. But if I'm kin with the land, it means even the land, the sun, the clouds support me. It means even the weather supports me. It means I move in tandem with the things around me. And this understanding, this idea, this rewriting of my positionality, of our positionality, is what enables us to have poise, to stand up. Keep your head up. You are not a beggar. These problems have not come in order to break you, to defeat you. They may break you. And in the breaking of those pieces, the medicine that is needed will be unleashed. The problems don't change. We change. And it's these problems that we use to shift ourself in our embodiment. And I wonder how much difference it makes when these problems that drown us, if we do not see them as adversaries, but we see them and say, wow, this problem is really major. I guess what's in me must be really major. I guess what's in me must be huge because I know at some point, even the grief I feel that is drowning me, I will arise up out of and be large enough to contain it and hold it. And then I will be large enough to direct it. This is expressly different. What are the practices that get us there? I think the practices that get us there is not surrender in the way that many Western teachers I hear talk about it, or the way that people talk about it. Surrender and healing. You're not healing your way out of problems. You're not trying to close wounds. You are saying the wound is opening the medicine. And I am not an endless project to fix. And I do not need to give up my autonomy and sovereignty to some other being to assist me. It says that, hey, if I am broken by something, I guess a broken person will be the one to grow larger than this. The idea is not to heal and heal and surrender so that we can have comfort. That being not the goal. The goal is to say I can offer my medicine even at the ends of worlds, and it wasn't contingent on comfort to be done. If we needed comfort, if we needed an absence of problems, we would not be here. I know there would be no African descendant person anywhere in the world if comfort was needed for us to be powerful people. And yet, it is the powerful people who have perfected and honed this power by trial and tribulation. And this is not to say that these are sent expressly just to test you. I do not believe so. I don't believe everything happens for a reason, but I do think that there is something beyond reason. There is something beyond logic. There is something beyond right and wrong as a modality to understand and perhaps to not understand. Perhaps to not even allow our inability to understand why and how these things are happening to us to limit us. Perhaps the medicine that's in us is not even contingent on a why or a how. Maybe those questions are not even helpful. Maybe what is externally and inside. Rumi has this piece of writing that says something like, beyond notions of right and wrong, there is a field. And beyond the duality that we often experience in the West, that things have to be right or wrong, good or bad, I like this, I don't like that. And our mechanism for understanding what we like and don't like is often based in our comfort, based in, yes, based in how it makes us feel. There's logic and illogic, right? Beyond Western epistemologies, beyond Western ideas of how the world works, there is something that says, I don't even need to understand. What is. Beyond language, there are ways of being. There is ways of knowing beyond language that may matter more in these circumstances of high stakes and deep grief. That is so much more important to me than me having to know why. What does it change to practice the posturing of our different elemental kin in a moment, and to not rely on the Western idea of how it is to be human in isolation? What if, in a moment of deep grief, of deep transition that I cannot understand and I struggle to hold on to, and the grief seems to wash me in a way that feels like it will kill and destroy me at my core, if I become a baobab tree, a large tree that can hold a lot of water for the drought seasons? What if I, in a moment of feeling so drowned with no gills, become a baobab tree to hold and contain this grief and still be able to provide sustenance, covering for the ecosystem around me? That I did not need the grief to be lesser, that I could shapeshift in a moment and become a shoreline. What if in a moment I could embody the presence of a rock when I feel all of my pieces disintegrating, to embody the posture of a rock as kin, to not view myself as above them, but to view myself as kin to them, and to allow them to speak to me with offering of new postures that allow me to survive in part wholly. The time has come where we must become people who are not stoic in the face of grief and transition and death and genocide, but that our suppleness, our ability to be present, to feel and respond, are not based in avoidance or numbing or disassociation, but based in a deep posture of poise, where we have grown roots so deep we might sway and bend, but we are assured that we will not be uprooted, because we're rooted in something across time and space that will not uproot us. How might that change and shift the way in which we position ourselves in moments of deep, deep pain? Because they come and they will continue to come. And that is not a sign that we have done anything wrong. Rather, it is a sign that we're in a deep kinship with something beyond what we may be able to know through our logic. We're in a deep kinship with something beyond what we may be able to understand. And we can decide the ways in which we express this kinship. And we get to, have to, and we get to practice poise through the myriad of griefs that are present and the myriad of griefs that await us. These are the ideas that in a moment when you're flailing, it's very difficult to reach and grab onto. You reach for them and they've been washed away. Where are they? Where are the tools? Where's the knowing? Where has it all gone? And that's why it's important to develop a continual practice of what it is to embody and live within the mystery. To not wait and put it away for a rainy day, but to realize every day is a great day to reroute and reconnect. To understand we're always living within the realm of mystery. We're always living within the realm of grief. Death is always here and never present. We've only decided to refuse attunement with it. But when we recognize that it is ever present and kin to us, kin to our species at large, it is our kin. It is our oldest kin. The moment we are born, grief and death become our next kin. What does it mean to embrace them continuously, to develop a new relationship that doesn't need them to go away, that doesn't wait for these periods of transition to be enacted? The invitation. So, this is the type of work that, the type of exploration, ritualizing, and ceremony that we do in the initiation, death, and the mystery 3-month container for those in grief, those who want to practice the poise, find the postures, and reorient their connectivity to grief at large, because what we need are people who can walk alongside death, who can drown and not die. What we need are people who can hold grief like a baobab and still continue to house, because the work that needs to happen needs to happen. It needs to continue to happen. And we need places and people who have the poise of our elders, in spite of maybe not being the age of elders, who are 15 and 25 and 45 and 85, who can embody the energy and posture of someone who says the world is falling apart and I will not fall apart with it. I am deeply grounded. I am in deep kinship with something I don't even know, but it allows me to serve my community at this time without falling apart, without breaking. And if I break open, more medicine is unleashed. I am not breaking in a way that creates a toxicity in me that bleeds and turns my medicine into an oozing wound. We don't need to heal the wounds. The wounds are the place where the medicine is unleashed. We are not going to heal our way out of a human experience. It is futile. I hope you relieve yourself of the belief that your humanness required that of you. It does not. The medicine is large enough to hold the wound and the antidote. It's large enough to hold it if we are large enough to hold the medicine we've been brought here to bring. If you want to join me in that container, it starts September 26th, which is the full moon. It's 3 months, 3 sessions of learning, and 3 sessions of ritual ceremony, where we will learn how to ritualize and make ceremony of these moments so that we can see grief as initiation when it comes to say, what part of my medicine is being unleashed here? How can I allow myself to surrender to the process without surrendering my sovereignty, waiting for a savior? How can I not make cliches of moments I don't know just to find meaning, and learn how to embody the language of silence as a deep knowing? We don't need the cliches of everything happens for a reason. Beyond language, there is a communication that happens beyond where words fail us. where cliches do not translate, because something even more profound that can't be spoken exists here, and the silence is not empty. It is actually more full than the words can ever put into form. We get to learn and explore those methods and those practices from an indigenous African lens. So the link is in my bio. It's www.candicedemeza.com. I would love for you to join me there and bring your grief with you.